Greetings, all. I know it's been a while, and for me, well, every year, this week is a big week. It's WrestleMania week. But for me in my personal life, it's going to get way bigger than just a wrestling event. But, as is Code Equestria tradition, we must talk about the wrestling event. WrestleMania, aka my second birthday, the showcase of the immortals, as they used to call it. One of the ultimate pop culture brouhahas, the mix of rock and roll and wrestling. And boy, is that mix of rock and roll and wrestling never been truer than here now. 7 years after the birth of the hashtag machine, we're going to dominate social media era. Some call the universe, I call the hashtag machine. We now enter year 8 with WrestleMania 38. And boy howdy is this 2 night card loaded. They're calling it stupendous. Well, stupendous is a term that is subjective, and many people's subjection to this card is that of dismay and hatred. Me, I've always understood what WrestleMania is, unlike half of the internet wrestling community that needs their brains rotted out with acid. You know who you are, you know what you do. Please stop. You make us all look bad. If I could collectively put a Will Smith hand on a stick, I would collectively slap all of you for your miseducation of the wrestling business. It's not just one thing to be a fan, it's to actually know how the business works. And no sign of the lack of education could be even greater said than right here, the Mania card. It's divisive, to say the least, in the worst possible of ways. So, how did they screw this up? Well, they didn't. It's the perfect balance of rock and roll and wrestling. Now, how they're booking the 2 nights, though, that's worthy of debate. Now, I could make 2 videos booking both individual nights, but come on, that's just overblowing your subscription feeds and kind of boring. Instead, I'm just going to book the whole thing and screw the nights entirely. So if you hear matches from night 2, to understand they're night 2 matches. I'll try putting emphasis on it, but no guarantees. The one thing that I will talk about, though, that is at the end of night 1 is the Kevin Owens show segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Segment it may begin like, but match it will turn into. Much like The Undertaker's John Cena from a couple years back, expect it to be a squash for 2 minutes. Austin hits a stunner, gets a pin. You see all the classic Austin moves, the muddle stomping, the Lupez press, everything that we become accustomed to seeing Stone Cold do over the last decade. decade and a half, which reminds me of a era I hate with such reckless abandon. It cannot be even understated. But I'm going to get one last dose of poison lodged into my veins before finally the Attitude Era can just go away now like it should just do. It's annoying. And I have no problem with this being the main event match at the end of night one, if you can call it that, considering the alternative is Charlotte Flair Ronda Rousey. What happens when you have two robotic androids with a lack of personality programmed to face each other and then asked to use their vocal protocols to hype matches that they are neither equipped nor properly upgraded with the proper drivers to go execute? You get this. Ronda Rousey is going to win this match primarily because Fox said so. Yes, WWE is being ridden and given no escape. Ronda Rousey's winning the title because Fox wants casual eyes, not because the WWE cares or anything. Just look at how they're putting the rivalry on TV. It shows a lack of, oh God, we have to do this just because we have $1 billion contract, not because we actually want to do this. Although the WWE also secretly will tell you they want to drown Charlotte Flair in a lake. They're just not going to tell you they want to. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And unfortunately, the hard place has come to smash them in the face. The other women's title match during night one, which should honestly be the end of night one. There's the way you get out of this booking conundrum is you book Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair in that spot. Because that one actually has a rivalry to it. Bianca will win it. Bianca will win the rematch at WrestleMania Backlash, and Becky Lynch is about to become G.I. Jane with a little bit of twisted psychosis, isn't she? This is going to be Bianca's second Mania win in a row against a Big Four in a main event spot. If anybody believes that Bianca's being undersold, you're kinda stupid here. She's being oversold. God, if I were Ivy, Jacqueline, Jazz, Ember Moon, any woman that has ever been black in the history of the WWE to see the push of Bianca Belair these last couple of years, I would actually be jealous. Because, Lord, she's being booked strong. Also, night one will have Seth Rollins, and no, I'm not gonna say the freaking or the fucking. Why, WWE, did you even put that in there? Going up against, let's just say it, everyone, Cody Rhodes. Yes, it is a shock that one of AEW's biggest pillars decided to betray the company that he helped create to go back to the company that he hated the company so much he created a wrestling company to compete against it. It's a weird, paradoxical thing we got going here. And yes, Cody Rhodes is winning. Yes, Seth Rollins will make it look good. Yes, could it have the possibility of stealing the entire first night of wrestling, even away from Stone Cold Steve Austin? Not quite, because Stone Cold Steve Austin has attitude era steroids and just people are idiots. But if wrestling fans of the modern era had any logic, this would be the match of night one. Considering how much better Cody Rhodes has become since he was last here, him being here again is kind of a shocker. And him being in this spot is also kind of a worst kept secret in the wrestling circle, but not really. Preferably, I would have wanted this conversation to happen the Monday after WrestleMania, where it could get a highlight spot, but hey, we got pseudo 80,000 served, so here is what here is. Night 2 is starting out with a triple threat women's tag match. Just know that the champions, Carmella and Selena, are not retaining their titles. Practically, in terms of who wins, this is a pick'em. It could go to any of the other teams in the match. It could go to the heels and Shayna's team. It could go to the faces with Liv Morgan or Sasha and Naomi. Personally, I think they're going to give it to Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley as the Shut Up, We Did Something with Liv Morgan award. You happy now? Yes, whenever the fans get behind a certain wrestler that they've said is underbooked, this will be the typical card that the WWE will play. I call it the Shut Up, You're Happy Now card. Just like they did with Ricochet and Finn Balor. They were both Shut Up, You're Happy cards. It's proven by Ricochet's continued job as Javoche. The Intercontinental title hasn't done much to help the young man. And considering Finn Balor, I'd watch it for a priest retrieve the night after. Man, it sucks being in the mid card. Omos and Bobby Lashley are going to wrestle. Bobby Lashley is going to win and still look like a tank. Whether he gets a shot at the unified title after this night two match is another question. Also, Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn. Comedy will ensue. That is all. Sami Zayn will probably win it, which is, I guess, nice. Even the greatest jobber deserves a WrestleMania moment. And I guess being in a match with Johnny Knoxville is moment enough. Okay. Night 1 will also see the SmackDown tag titles defended, while Night 2 will have the Raw tag team titles defended. Expect the Usos to retain as linked with the main event's results, which I will get to, and also I'm going to put my money down that RK Bro also retains here. Man, those titles need to be merged hard. Street Profits are gonna go heel at some point. It's really bad and really complicated. Also, Edge AJ Styles, the other highlight match of night 2. This should be good. If not the best match of the night, my mind goes to Edge winning this matchup. You don't give him a new Alter Bridge joint only to have a person with maybe one of the worst theme songs in the company automatically win it. But expect a 20-minute banger and a lot of near falls and just both wrestlers being great. I mean, this is going to be the pure wrestling spectacle that y'all should expect on a technical level. Might be the best match of the whole bunch, to be honest. Drew McIntyre will end the undefeated streak for real this time of Happy Corbin in a throwaway affair. A massive throwawayness. Don't know why this match is even here. You could easily do it on SmackDown and no one would miss it. I mean, absolutely no one. Pat McAfee will look great. Austin Fury will win. Pat McAfee is a man. Pat McAfee is a boss. Honestly, by it my way, Pat McAfee would win, but Austin Fury's getting the fucking push of a lifetime. Ready to be a buzzkill. That's night 2, by the way. Yeah, Pat McAfee gets a night 2 middle card match while Cody Rhodes is on a Saturday. I honestly do not understand this company and its booking sometimes. Which leads ultimately to the main reason that I'm watching this event, night 1, with my lady love, night 2 without her. Sad face. But the undisputed championship of the world is something I have begged for, something that I have pleaded, something that I have wished upon the wrestling gods for the last 3 years. Heck, last year I did a fantasy booking video with this as the main event. And now, 1 year later, I get what I want, which means for the WWE for the entire rest of the year, I don't care how bad it gets, you get a free pass. And no, internet, I'm being completely 100% serious. I know there'll be some people that know me on the internet that think, man, you're gonna give the WWE a complete and total free pass in your head? Yes. Why? Because they're giving me the one thing, the one ring, and the one tribal chief to rule it all. Yes, Roman Reigns is unifying the titles. Yes, Roman Reigns is winning. Yes, Roman Reigns will lose the title by SummerSlam to Cody Rhodes. Clip that part of the video, remember it. Play it back in your mind. I will be right. You will be wrong. But right here at this moment, Roman Reigns will rule it all. Just like he's ruled the promos. Just like he's ruled the last 2 years with an iron fist, a cold voice, and victory after victory after victory. Will Paul Heyman fall into the match's result? Yep. Will the bloodline interfere? Yep. Will there be no DQs? Yep. Why? Because the ref won't let anything happen. This match is going to be 20 to 25 minutes of absolute insanity. Just as long as this video has been. But it will lead to the result that we have all seen coming since the minute this match was finally given the proper placement that it deserves. The true main event. The main event of all main events. Usually, WWE's hyperbole when hyping up main events such as this is ear grating and untrue. But in this situation, they are 100% without aplomb correct. This is the biggest main event in WrestleMania history. Not since WrestleMania 6, when the Intercontinental title and WWE title were fought to form a one ring, has there been a main event such as this. And this is literally a fusion of the two big one rings in the company. Yes and no, I don't care what it's called. I don't care if they call it the Undisputed Universal Championship. I really don't care what it's called. I just want a new look. I want a new belt for Roman the next night that is specifically Roman attached, not something with these fucking hubcaps, but any belt that will be brand new to show the unification will be nice enough. Now, if we can just unify all the other belts and make them look all nice and spiffy and get rid of all the clutter around the WWE closet, that would be nice. But at least for this one night and for this one year, WWE can do no wrong in my eyes, especially the way they've been booking Roman. They're doing no wrong. No, this won't be a match with all finishers on. This will be a match. A possibly bloody one? Maybe? You might want to hide your kids, hide your wife, but know that the tribal chief will be acknowledged as the ones. If I missed a match in this predictions video, I'm kind of sorry. This card is loaded quite a bit with 3 or 4 matches that could be on TV the night or nights after, but by and large, like the WWE likes to do, they like to throw everybody on this thing. Highlighted by not just one main event, but essentially 5. This WrestleMania card is, in fact, packed to the gills with matches I care about. And the one thing I ultimately care about. Yes, I said it, the year-long pass is in effect, and considering that my life might be changing significantly, I'm not going to really care much how WrestleMania makes me feel at the end of this weekend. Because there might be something more important for me waiting for me. So, there are my yearly predictions for WrestleMania. Tell me, tell me what you think about them down here. Especially if I missed something, which I will tend to do. Next time you hear from me, we're though gonna have a little bit of fun. Fantasy booking is back. I'm gonna try my best to book next year in Hollywood. And I'm going to give you the storylines to get you to Hollywood. Hooray for fantasy. And yes, there is a video game review coming. And yes, the ponies will soon return. Because it's got tales to tell. Until next time, I'm Nirvana Sparkle. Find peace in your own Nirvana. I'll see you later.